Hey yogis, thank you for joining me for this session. It's the fourth in a four-part series of Earth Energy Yoga for Taurus season. So we're winding down Taurus season. It ends at the end of this week and it will usher in Gemini season, but that's going to be for the next month and we'll explore Gemini season. But for tonight, we'll round out our exploration of really rooting down, grounding from the ground up, finding our energy through the base of our feet and our legs, our sit bones, wherever we are connected to the earth, and then using that to energize us. So let's begin in the middle of our mat. I have my blocks set up on either end, and you might find that helpful for yourself if you need it. We will be doing some balancing work tonight. So in preparation for that, you might like it. But let's begin by just finding our seats, and you may take whatever seat form feels comfortable to you tonight. Just remember which shin is in front because we'll switch, but allow yourself a moment or two to get settled. So really ground down through your sit bones. Allow your knees to start to relax towards the earth. Take a few moments if you need to kind of get out the kinks of the day. And then just allow yourself to begin to find pleasure in sitting. So invite yourself to close your eyes. Find a connection to the earth through your sit bones. And just let earth energy receive you. Give yourself permission to just kind of let go of holding yourself up and just let the earth do that job. Lengthen your spine. Let those pesky shoulders relax. If you need to do a loop or two to kind of get them to that place, then please do. Whatever gets you comfortable. Find your shoulders stacked over your hips and find a nice, long, tall spine. As you ground through your sitting bones, bring yourself into the awareness of that length of your spine. So that you're feeling that energy from your tailbone up through the crown of the head, and then from the crown of the head down to the tailbone. And just start to find your breath here. Keeping the lips closed tonight, let's take a deep breath in through our nose. And then let that breath exhale through the nose as well. Breathing in, expand your lungs, let your belly rise, let your chest rise. On the exhale, feel the contraction as you empty out and pull in. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. We'll add on the Ujjai breath, so creating that oceanic sound. We're constricting the back of the throat, so just as if you were fogging up a mirror, but your lips are closed, begin to create that audible sound. And what's beautiful about Ujjayi breathing is that it really helps to anchor your mind. The mind loves to have a job. If you give it a focus, it's happy. Creating this sounding breath and following your breath is a really beautiful and easy way to just start to find yourself in the present moment. Very Taurus thing to just be sitting, enjoying our seat, watching our breath, playing the observer here, stepping outside of our bodies and just seeing ourselves in this moment. The simplicity of breathing and sitting. Increase your inhale. Take it for a little bit of a longer count, nice and slow as you fill your lungs. Let the belly rise. And then as you exhale, lengthen that exhale. Let it out nice and slow. Drawing the navel in towards the spine. Again, nice, long, deep inhale, creating a really steady, even breath here. Exhaling out through your nose, Ujjai sounding breath. One more just like that, big breath in. And an even longer breath out. Really take your time to let that exhale release, squeezing navel towards spine. Good, and ease your eyes open here, and let's take our arms overhead. Just sweep the fingers out and up towards the sky. Find another connection with that sit bone. Grow a little bit taller through your waist. And as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right, bringing the back of your left hand to the outside of your thigh. Root down through your back, fingertips grow long through your spine as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, press the back of your hand into your thigh and take your twist. Keep pulling your navel towards your spine on your exhales. And keep growing long through the crown of the head as you inhale. See if you can wrap your right shoulder back just a little bit more. And then anchoring that left hand to the thigh, lift your right arm up, breathe in. And as you exhale, lean off at a diagonal over your left knee. Press that right sit bone down, round that right thigh, and peel the right hip crease back. All the while you're reaching out and away from that right hip, stretching out your right side, finding some space along the rib cage. Good, now as you inhale, draw that right arm up, and as you exhale, sweep it all the way forward, letting the left hand join it. Walk your fingertips out, and just bow down over your right shin. Plug your finger pads into the mat and press your sit bones down and back. Breathe into your low back, breathe into your right glute and outer hip, wherever you might be feeling this. Lengthen your spine. Keep your breath nice and steady. Good, a nice breath in as you look forward. And as you exhale, walk your hands back and in. Let's switch sides, bring the opposite shin in front. Sit tall. And once again, sweep the arms overhead, reach up. Let your ribs just draw away from your hip creases, and your fingertips and your sit bones draw away from each other. As you exhale, a nice twist over to the left, back of the right hand to the left thigh. Left fingertips press down. Inhale, get nice and long here. And as you exhale, squeeze your belly button in and just rotate any extra amount you can to find your twist. As you breathe in, connect with the length of your spine, lifting up through the crown of your head. As you breathe out, maybe pull that left shoulder back a little bit more. Maybe your chin turns just a little bit more. Good, breathe in and lift your left arm up and overhead. And as you breathe out, take that lengthening side stretch over to the right, leaning out and over your right knee and thigh. Extra attention to that left sit bone and thigh bone. Keep pressing it down, rooting it towards the earth as you reach up and out of your left hip. Good, one more breath in. Exhale it out, grow a little bit longer. Good, inhale as that left arm comes up, sweep it forward towards the top of your mat. Right hand joins it, walk it out as you exhale, lengthening out on this side. Feel the stretch in your left outer hip, your glute. Feel the spine getting nice and long. Press your finger pads into the mat, And just press those sit bones back. Hip creases draw back. Breathe in as you look forward and breathe out as you walk your hands back and in. Good. Take your hands back behind you. Let your fingertips face your sit bones and lean back just enough so that you can feel a stretch in your wrists. Wrap your shoulders back, open up your chest. Just feel this nice release across the front of the chest. Great counter stretch to all of the time that we spend slunched over. If it feels good, you can even let your head drop back, opening up your throat. Keep pressing into the hands. Really get a good stretch in your wrist flexor. Good. And then come on up. You will interlace the hands overhead. So bring them overhead. And then flip the palms up towards the sky, pressing the heels of the hands towards the ceiling. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, just bring your arms in line with your shoulders. And now press those palms away from you. And again, you'll feel that stretch in your wrists. And you'll start to feel a really yummy stretch in between your shoulder blades. So just let that sensation start to build. And then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, drop your chin to your chest and round yourself back. So I'll turn to the side just a little bit. So you're just really targeting that space between your shoulders, letting the shoulders protract here, hollowing out your belly. And on your next breath in, press down to lift the arms up and overhead, arms alongside the ears. And as you exhale, once again, we're going to tuck and round, spreading the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, push down to lift up, lengthening, reaching out of your sit bones. And then exhale as you round, tucking in. Good. Inhale, arms come up and overhead. And as you exhale, drop your left elbow down. I'll just pivot one more time and let your right arm elbow lift up. So you're pressing the back of the head into your forearm and your forearm into the back of your head. You should feel something in your right shoulder. I hope that you do. Good stretch here. Keep tugging the elbows away from each other and keep your spine long and your navel drawing in so that your core is engaged here. Try to relax around this. I know this can feel pretty intense, but try to mix your effort with ease. Sthira and Sukha. Sukha is the ease. Good. Let's switch sides. So up and over, left elbow points up, right elbow points down, press back. Head to forearm, forearm to head. Keep your shoulders aligned over your hips. And then just gently tug energetically your elbows away from each other. Breathe into your left shoulder girdle. Feel that. Pretty yummy. All right, let's add a little glide. So from side to side, we're just going to get fluid and move our elbows up and over, up and over. Kind of flossing out this space. You might hear a little popping or releasing or clicking if you've got some tightness there. It's okay, it's normal. Just let it be. Good stuff. All right, beautiful. Press the arms all the way up. Flip up those palms, stretch it out. And then on your exhale, just release and let the arms float down. Get those shoulders a good rolling out. Beautiful. I don't know about you, but this feels so good to me and so necessary. All right, lean back. And let's extend our legs out wide in a straddle. So go ahead and bring them as far apart as feels comfortable, ensuring that your toes and your kneecaps are pointing up. So if that's not happening and your legs are too wide, go ahead and scoot them in a little bit more. If you take your hands behind you, you can lift up your sit bones and tilt your pelvis a little bit more forward, and that might feel good. Big stretch for our inner leg lines. We're going to wake our legs up a little bit here, a couple more poses to help with that. And as you're ready, just walk your hands forward. So if you have a block handy, you could certainly use that as a little prop to lean onto. You want to keep your spine nice and long here while we're doing this kind of stretching. You want to keep your toes active. So toes are lifted, spreading. You're really grounding the back of your legs to the ground. Just feeling that earth energy and kind of melting yourself into it. It feels like it's accessible to you to grab your shins or your ankles or maybe even your toes and kind of extend out and over your mat here. Please feel free to do that. This is pretty intense. I know I definitely feel it. Just breathe through it as best you can. Come back to your Ujjayi breathing. That sounding breath is really helpful, especially when we're focused. And the body needs our breath, right, to help us open up. Good. Beautiful. Now release any bind that you had and lift yourself up. And we're going to bend that left knee and draw the sole of the left foot in towards your right thigh. So going a little bit deeper now into the hamstring. Turn your chest to face your extended leg and breathe in to get nice and tall. Pull your belly in on that exhale. You're going to fold forward. So now you're really going to feel this in your right hamstring. You may feel it in the lower quadrant of your back. Wherever the sensation is, just send your breath there. Be cool with it, right? If it's tight, just send it your love. It needs a little bit extra love if it's tight. Breathing in and out here. Good. Keeping your spine long and your chest lifted, drawing your sternum towards your toes. And then we'll release. And as you come up, you're going to lean off to your right side and you're going to pick your left foot up and draw it back behind you. So your toes are going to face the back. You're going to land on top of your foot and your ankle and your shin, setting up for a little half saddle pose. Now, this is a really deep stretch for your quad and your knees. So if that's not doable for you, then just stay in the half butterfly. And then you'll just walk your hands back and lean back any amount that feels good so that you can allow this big muscle in the front of your left leg to start to stretch out. The right foot and leg stays active as well. You're drawing the toes back towards you and you're grounding that right heel. But really we're focusing the most on this quad muscle. The front of the hip, you can feel that as well. For some people, this is torture. For others, it's heaven. I happen to love this pose a lot. Wherever you are, make it your version of heaven, right? Make it modified if you need to. That's what is so beautiful about yoga. All right, let's bring ourselves back upright, sitting on those sit bones. Keep this half saddle if it's available to you and slide your right heel in. Interlace your hands beneath the sole of your foot. Pull your thigh towards your chest, sit tall, and then kick out and see if you can extend your leg to straight for heron pose. So from the side, it's going to look something like this. There we go. Now keep your chest lifted, look up and past your toes, right? You want a nice long spine here, no rounding. Just sit up tall. Keep your navel drawing in and your core engaged. And then as that hamstring starts to open up, just kick through your heel and breathe. Pretty intense. Yes, I feel it, but I love it. It's what the body needs. Good medicine. All right, take one more breath here. And then exhale to slowly release. Lean off to that right side again to release your left leg. Let it go long, maybe give it a little shake if that was kind of a lot in that half saddle. And we'll take that sequence on the other side by bending the right knee and bringing the right foot inside of our thigh. Turn your chest to face your extended leg. Get nice and tall here. It's a little bit of a twist as well, so we're kind of pivoting the torso. And as you exhale, walk it out and find something to connect with. a foot, an ankle, a shin, a block. If neither or any of those are available to you, just do the best that you can to really get into the hamstring on this side. So keep kind of rotating those right ribs around towards your left thigh while you're folding forward. So a little bit of a twist and a forward fold together in this pose. Draw your toes back, draw your chest forward, lift out of your low back as you breathe into this. Oh, feels so good. All right, releasing that, walk the hands in, and then just lean off to the left as you release your right foot. Guide the top of the foot to the back. So it's nestled in alongside your right outer hip. The toes are pointing back. Setting up for half saddle on this side. If you can, begin to walk your hands back and lean back any amount. This side may feel different and may require a little bit different course of action, so modify as you need to. It could be your tight side, it could be your more open side, whatever it is, just treat it with compassion. That's one of the first rules in yoga, ahimsa, practicing that kindness to ourselves and to others, non-violence. If your knee is popping up, that's okay. Eventually, as you practice and you open up, it's going to land towards the mat. It's a big stretch, so breathe into it. Keep your left foot active. Maybe you drop your head back if that feels good to you here. Good. And slowly make your way up, keeping the leg in this position or half butterfly. You'll slide your left heel in and then thread your hands underneath the sole of your foot. Pull that thigh bone in towards your chest, get tall, and then start to kick it out. Stretching out the hamstring on this side. So this is pretty intense pose. We got something going on with both legs here. So do you, if this is not possible. One side's gonna feel tighter. I feel pretty tight on this left side. But no judgment, right? Only good, kind words to ourselves in yoga. It's all. Keep lifting your chest up. Look out past the tops of your toes. Round through your sit bone. Get long through that hamstring and press the heel away as it starts to open up for you. Good. Taking another deep breath in, using that Ujjai breath to stay steady. Nice long exhale out. Good, and then bending the knee to release that leg long, lean off to the left, take your right leg out. Let's give both legs a little shake. And then come up onto your fingertips, bend your knees, and we're just gonna press ourselves onto our toes. So my heels are gonna lift here. And I'm gonna come to balance on my toes. So your feet are more or less underneath your hips. You're gonna start to engage your core and your quad muscles and bring one arm and then the other out in front of you like Frankenstein. Palms facing down, arms in line with the shoulders, find your balance. Get really grounded here. Remember, we're building our poses from the ground up, so make that connection now. And with your attention on your legs and on your core, push into your toes and start to lift yourself up to stand. Keeping your heels lifted, high on the toes, breathe in. And then on the exhale, slowly release the heels down, let the arms go. Yes, good job. Shake it out. That was a big wake up, huh? Come to the top of the mat if you weren't already there and take a deep breath in. Let's reach up towards the sky, ground through your feet as you lift up through your fingertips. And on the exhale, let's hinge all the way forward, softening the knees, coming into our forward fold. Now just let everything kind of hang here. Get really loose. You can take a sway from side to side or anything else that might feel good to your body. Maybe a little bending of one knee and then the other, just kind of walking it out in place. Lots of attention tonight on our hamstrings and our legs. So with that in mind, maybe you want a little movement. With that in mind, maybe stillness sounds good. Whatever works for you. In this forward fold, we're opening up our whole back body, which gets really, really tight. It causes our hips to be tight, our hamstrings. So we're opening it up here, drawing our chest close to our thighs, pointing the crown of the head down, and just starting to feel the release. Good. Let's breathe in and come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Fingertips to your shins as you stretch out to straight here. Lift your navel up towards your spine, draw your shoulders down your back, and gaze out just slightly past the top of your mat. Take a nice breath in. On the exhale, release and fold, softening the knees, letting the head go, softening the shoulders. Again, inhale, press into the feet, come up halfway. Feel that engagement. Spine is straight. Bring your neck in line with it. One more breath. And exhale, soften to fold, release. Come up halfway once again. And then plant the hands and we'll step back to downward facing dog. Taking a little time here to settle into your first, not your first inversion, your first dog. And you may want to just pedal a knee or two, maybe work it out by sending your hips from side to side. Let your head go and shake it yes and no. Right? A really nice time for you to explore your body in a way that feels good to you. This is what this practice is all about, really customizing it to our needs, whatever they are. Good, now wherever you are, let's come to stillness. Check in with your hands, make sure you're grounding through your thumb and your forefinger. Check in with your feet as you draw your heels towards the mat. And check in with your tailbone, lift it up towards the sky. Pull your shoulders down your back and let your ribs start to stretch towards your thigh bones. Press those thigh bones back just a little bit more. Good, inhale, now come up high on your toes, finding that same sensation that we had as we lifted up from the ground. On the exhale, let's bend the knees and bring our ribs towards our thighs. So you're gonna get low in a little crouching position here. Inhale, press into those toes as you straighten the legs. And exhale, really sink your heels down towards the mat, stretching out your Achilles, your calves, your hamstrings. Let's do that again. Inhale, high on the toes. Feel that connection, all 10 toes pressing into the earth. Exhale, let's bend the knees, bringing rib cage towards thighs. Ground through your hands. Inhale, now straighten the legs, stay high on the toes, heels are lifted. Exhale, now let those heels melt towards the ground, pressing them down. Good, nice and long. Good, now root through your left foot, inhale, let the right leg lift and keep your hips square here. Flex your foot and wrap the front of your right hip down. Press out through your right heel as you push into your right hand. On your next breath in, come forward, plank with knee to nose. Exhale as you send it back. Again, inhale, rounding forward. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, round it forward. Now pull your thigh up towards your ribs. Exhale as you step that right foot up towards your thumb. Press your left heel away, grow long as you feel that big stretch in your left hip, the front of it, the hip flexor, and then lower the back knee down. Rise up, bring your arms overhead, stack your shoulders over your hips. And as you exhale, let's sweep that right arm back, take a twist. Turning towards your right thigh, Stretching out through your fingertips. Let your belly button hug in so that your chest can move a little bit more to the right. Big breath in, and on the exhale, you're going to take that right hand to your left thigh and just sweep the left arm back behind you. Maybe drop into your front knee a little bit more. Stretch out your left hip flexor. Good, big breath in. Exhale, let's cartwheel the hands down, frame out your foot. Lift your back knee, tuck those back toes, and start to crawl your fingertips forward. We're gonna press off the toes and then ground through our right foot as we come into an L shape. This is preparation for warrior 3. So building from the ground up, press into your foot, pull that energy up your standing leg, wrap your right hip back, and feel that outer hip turn on. Flex your left foot, engage your left leg. That left inner thigh is spinning up. Now a block is here if you need it. For any reason, you're welcome to bring it into the practice. Wherever you are, see if you can get a little light on your fingertips. Good, take a breath in. On the exhale, cross your left ankle behind your right. And let's come into a forward fold. Little bit of a deeper hamstring opener here. You're gonna feel this. Do your best to ground all 10 toes onto the mat. Oh man, I feel it. Now, if you can, or if you want to, walk your hands over to the right. Get a little bit deeper of a stretch on that outer left hip. Feels so good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Beautiful. Unwind. Come back to center. Unwrap that left foot. Send it all the way back. Right foot joins it for plank pose. Let's press the earth away. Lift the top of the thighs. Now press your heels away and lengthen your tailbone towards them. Chest stays lifted, gaze is slightly forward. Get really strong in your plank. And then on an exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Out the mouth. Good, again, inhale deeply. Cleansing breath out. One more like that, deep breath in. Let it go. Good, now press your right foot into the mat and lift your left leg, keeping the hips square here. So you want your pelvis fairly neutral, flexing that left foot, toes point towards the ground. Kind of roll that left outer hip down towards the mat and press into your left hand so that you can stretch back through your left heel. On your next breath in, come forward, drawing your knee towards your nose, lift your thigh up and press the earth away. Exhale as you send your left leg back. Inhale again, knee to nose, round in, press the earth away, round your back and lift your thigh. Exhale to take it back. Inhale, let's pull it in, hold and hover. As you exhale, step the foot up towards the left thumb and take a moment to press back through your right heel. Nice and strong in that back leg. Good, lower the back knee and rise up. Bringing your shoulders to stack over your hips, squeezing your inner thighs in. So you want to feel the hugging of inner thighs towards one another. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, we're going to sweep that left arm back and take a twist to the left. Arms come out to a T position. Reach out through both fingertips. Feel the rotation of your rib cage. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now reach that left hand back for your back, left, right thigh, and take the right arm up and overhead. Stretching out here, you may want to sink a little bit more into your left knee. Feel the release in front of your right hip. Big breath in. Cartwheel the hands down to frame out your foot. Lift your back knee as you tuck your toes. And as your fingertips start to crawl forward, press off the back toes and root strongly through your left leg to come into our L shape on this side. Keep the squaring of the hips here, wrapping the front of the right hip down. Right foot is flexed and right leg is engaged. Build the pose from the ground up as you press through the sole of the left foot. Turn on your left hip stabilizers, your left quad. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, cross your right ankle behind your left. Try to line up your toe tips as best you can and fold in. Let something go here. Remind yourself that this is a practice, right? Nothing has to be perfect. We're just practicing. For a little extra juice, walk your fingertips over to the left, find a little twist, and say hello to your IT band on the right side. Woo, mine's talking. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Walk the fingertips back to center. Unwind that right leg. Step it all the way back to the back of the mat. And then left foot joins the right. This time, place your left hand in the center of your mat. Spin your heels to the left and open up into Vashi Sasana. Now, you can keep your feet staggered. You could stack them, or you could even drop that left knee down and keep your right foot on the mat. So lots of options here. Do what feels good. Look for stacking your shoulders here, drawing your tailbone towards your heels and lifting from your side waist. Good. One more breath in. On the exhale, slowly bring yourself back to plank and switch it out. Right hand in the middle of the mat, heels drop to the left, and then to the right, and then the left arm lifts up. Press the earth away from you. Maybe stack your feet here for a little extra. Tailbone pulling towards your heels, lifting your rib cage. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's lower down, come back to plank. Bring your knees to the mat, lower your chest all the way down. Take one side of your cheek to the mat and take some rest and allow your arms to just reach back behind you, palms facing up. Let the front of the shoulders take a little break. Feel the energy that we created, that life force moving through you. And switch sides, opposite cheek now to the mat. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, and then looking forward, line the hands up along the outer ribs and draw those elbows in nice and close. Press the tops of the feet in, root down through the front of the hips and pelvis, and inhale, peel your chest up. Melt the shoulders down and away from your ears. Pull the tailbone towards the mat as you lift. And on the exhale, soften and lower. Again, inhale, let's draw up. Energetically, you want to drag the heels of your hands towards your hips. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhale, root down through your legs, lift up and float your hands off the mat. Keep those elbows drawn in, breathe in. And exhale to lower it down. Let's press back, hands and knees. Draw the hips back towards the heels, find child's pose. You may want to bring your arms alongside of you with the palms facing up once again. Relax those shoulders. Breathe into your back body. Nice counter pose to our belly back bends. It should feel really good. Letting something go. Connect with the earth even here. Through that third eye, third eye center. Good, and then arms will stretch forward, Let's find our way back into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up nice and high. Good, now reach the right leg up, bend the knee, and let's go ahead and open up the hip. Any movement here or stillness that feels good to you, just keep drawing that right heel over to the left side of your body and keep pressing into your right hand. Let that knee just travel up as the heel travels over. Big breath in. And then on the exhale, look forward, step the foot up by the thumb, and we're going to spin the back heel down, setting up for warrior one. So once you feel grounded in your legs, press into them and rise up, finding your pose from the ground up, really activating your legs here. If it's helpful, you can bring your hands to your hips to help with that kind of swiveling, rotating the right hip back and asking the left hip to come a little bit more forward. Position your knee over your ankle on that front leg and really press into the outer edge of your back foot. Stay connected to your breath. Relax your inner shoulders. Strong pose. All that stretching we did in our legs should be supporting us now. Take your hands back behind you. Let's find a clasp here. Roll the shoulders back as you drop your knuckles to the floor. Lift your heart, look up. On the exhale, let's fold down inside of our right thigh. Lifting the arms up and away from the low back if possible. Now, if you can't come inside your right thigh, then just rest your ribs on the thigh, that's fine. Stay grounded through your legs. Try to let something go, even though we're working really hard here. Breathe in. Squeeze those shoulder blades on your back. Good. When you're ready to breathe in, come up, releasing your arms overhead. So the bind releases. And as you exhale, let your hands travel towards your heart. You're going to pivot onto the ball of that back foot and just bend into your front knee and your back knee. Building our way into warrior three pose. Let's stay really soft. So find a focal point off your mat, slightly forward, and just lean into it and start to transfer your weight to that standing leg. It can stay bent, lifting the back leg. We want to bring our chest in line with our hip, keeping that back foot flexed. Whoops, hard for me to talk and do this. Breathe, stay focused, even if I'm not. And use your strong legs that we've been working on to anchor you into the pose. One more breath in. On the exhale, let's come to stand. Bring your arms up and overhead. Reach them all the way up to the sky. And then as you exhale, we're going to lift that right leg that was just our standing leg and interlace our hands in front of our right shin. Pull that shin in towards you. Get really tall. So now our left leg is working to support us. Nice work. Release your left hand to your left hip, and with your right hand on your shin just below your kneecap, draw your knee out to the side. So we're going to come into a balance pose here. You can stay here, really opening up as if you were in tree pose, or you could extend that left arm out for counterbalance. If you have that, you may even want to turn your gaze to the left as well. This is tricky. Try to find that play between your arm and your leg to keep you right in the center. Good job. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, bring it all in. Let it go. Give yourself a hug. That was really good. Yay, yay. Back to the top of the mat wherever you were. And take a deep breath in. Let's reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Dive it on down. Feel how open those hamstrings are now. Halfway lift. Extend your spine. Option to take a vinyasa or simply to step back to downward facing dog. Your choice. If you take the vinyasa, lower down. to the belly or halfway. Back bend into cobra or upward facing dog. That could feel really good, pressing into the hands and the tops of the feet. And then exhaling, we all find downward facing dog. Back to the breath. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good, the left leg lifts now, this time. Reach it back and then bend the knee to open up the hip. Again, your choice for movement, maybe rolling the ankle or even rolling the knee. Entirely up to you, whatever feels good. And just be aware of your right or your left heel traveling to the right as you press down through your left hand. Left knee lifts. Big breath in, look forward. On the exhale, step it up towards the thumb and spin that right heel down at an angle. Warrior one on this side. As you ground through your legs, use that earth energy to rise up. And maybe take a moment here to square the hips, bringing the hands to swivel them around as much as you need to. The big part of this equation is that back leg and pressing strongly into the outer edge of your foot. That allows us to go a little bit deeper into our front knee. Stretch out through your fingertips. Feel your strong legs working for you, rooting down. We'll release the arms back behind us. Find the clasp on this side. If you can, switch it up. Bring that opposite thumb on top. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, breathe in to open up. Breathe out as you fold in for humble warrior on this side. Now squeeze those shoulder blades together on your back. Lift your arms up and away. Stay bent in your front knee and keep anchoring through your back. Let something go here. Feel the quality of humility. Feel the groundedness though through your legs. Good, find a breath in. On the exhale, release the bind, press into your legs, rise all the way up. Coming back here, we'll find our hands as we bring them to prayer in front of our heart, and we'll pivot onto the ball of the back foot. If you need to shorten your stance or take a hop, that's fine. Just picture yourself in warrior three. So start to lean out over your front leg, keep your legs kind of soft and bent, and then just ask that standing leg to support you as you bring your chest in line with your hips. Press out through that right heel. Keep wrapping your right hip down and breathe. Good. Now see if you can hinge from the hips to come upright, and we'll step that right foot down to meet the left. Awesome. Transfer weight into the right leg now as you bring your left knee into your chest. Go ahead and interlace your hands across the front of your shin and draw your thigh up close to your chest. I'll turn to face you. You know where we're going here. Option to just stay here. This might be enough for you. Bringing that right hand to the right hip now. Slowly open the left knee to the left. So think tree pose. You want to line your knee up with your hip. Keep squaring the hips to the front. And then maybe that right arm releases. And then maybe the gaze goes in the same direction. Finding a counterbalance between your knee and your arm. Lots of wobbles here. Breathe in. It's too hard to do this and look at the camera. Breathe out and to release. All right. See, even your yoga teacher falls, and it's a good thing because it's just a practice and we learn from it. All right. Take your arms overhead. Let's reach all the way up. On the exhale, let's fold forward and let's take Vashi Sasana, our last yummy opening for our legs. So hook your 2 peace fingers around your big toes. Breathe in as you look forward. Pull your chest up towards the top of your mat. And as you exhale, bow in and draw the elbows out to the side.
Straightening your legs as much as possible, and then drawing that chest in towards the thighs as much as possible. Let your head be heavy here, dangling off the end of your spine. Press your toes into the mat. At the same time, you're lifting them up with your hands. Nice deep, deep stretch here, breathing in. And breathing out. Beautiful. Release the bind of the toes. Heel toe your feet out wide. And then step your right leg back. Lower the back knee down. Lizard pose on this side. So you may want to roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, as I'm doing here, angling the toes off the mat, and bringing yourself down onto your forearms or a block. There are many, many options for this particular pose. You can certainly roll onto your right forearm, and then that left hand can find the left thigh to gently press it away from the hip, lengthening knee and away from the hip there on that side. You might want to roll your left shoulder back and wrap your right ribs underneath you as you do. You could certainly bend the back knee and reach for your back foot. This could either be down on the forearm or lifted up. And then draw that heel towards your sit bone as you stretch out the front of your right hip and quad. Wherever you are, just make it yours. Breathe into it. Some nice deep breaths. Nothing better than a juicy hip opener after some strong leg work. Allow yourself to just kind of drop into your body here. That's a very Taurus thing. Finding the pleasure of being in your body. All right, we'll begin to walk the hands in if you were lower and bring yourself upright. Now follow me here. You're going to slide your left heel back and you're going to cross your left knee in front of your right. I'm going to turn to face you. That might be more helpful. Widen your heels out and away from you and stretch your fingertips forward and just start to press your hips back. So we're setting up for Gomukasana. You are welcome to stay right here. This is a really nice stretch. But if you feel like you're ready to explore going deeper, go ahead and let the fingertips slide all the way back as you lower your sit bones down between your heels. So your feet are flexed and away from your hips. You're looking to stack your knees as much as you can, and you're looking to bring your sit bones even to the ground. So all of those are big things, and this is a very intense pose. So do what you can. You could place a block or a blanket here between the knees if they're pretty high and away from each other. You could also extend your bottom leg and just take a half version. This is also a really effective pose for opening up the outer hip. So you can feel that IT band and the glute getting a good stretch here. Wherever you are, close your eyes and just be with your breath. And be with the sensations you're feeling. Cultivating awareness. Cultivating resiliency. This is, not a fun pose, but you're still committed to staying in it. Think of what a wonderful character you're creating and character for yourself. Right? As we work and practice, we begin to see how these things begin to show up off the mat and in our daily lives. And it's pretty magical. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So to come out of this, I'll invite you to just bring yourself forward back onto hands and knees. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and slide that left knee out and back and step our right foot way out to the side for lizard on this side. Walk that left knee back, and then whatever variation you'd like to explore on this side. So I'm gonna turn my toes out at an angle, roll onto the outer edge of that right foot, and bring myself down. Again, you can be right here. Your toes can also be pointed forward. They don't need to roll out. You could lean off onto your left side and maybe give a little assist to opening up that right hip and thigh by pressing into it. Roll the right shoulder back if that feels good. And all of this feeling good, maybe you want to bend the right knee and reach for your, or bend the left knee, excuse me, and reach for your foot with your right hand, drawing the heel towards your sit bone, breathing into this side. Whew. Lots of deep breath work here. Do not be in a hurry to open up. It takes time. Good. Let's gently release. Unwind wherever you were and start to bring yourself upright. Now on this side, we'll go ahead and slide that right heel across, bringing the right knee in front of the left. Separate your feet nice and wide, so away from each other towards opposite sides of the mat. Stretch your arms out and then sink your hips back, 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 back. This could be perfect, just hanging out here. Lots of good sensation. Feel free to let this be where you land, or maybe you let those fingertips slide back as you bring your sit bones down. Separate your heels. This side is a little bit tighter for me. As you can see, my knee is lifted away from my opposite knee, but the goal again is to keep them stacked and then to keep those sit bones level. So the right sit bone grounded as much as the left. Sitting upright, maybe even walking your fingertips forward, whatever feels good for you on this side. Let's just close our eyes and commit to a few breaths here. Really feeling into it. Be content with where you are and what your body is doing. No need to push yourself. Invite the opening to come in. It's like a coaxing, right? We're not forcing anything. We're just inviting it. Breathing in. Breathing out. Beautiful. All right, we are done on this side. So now we'll take our hands back behind us and just let the legs extend out in front of you. So we're gonna come long on the mat, give your legs a good shake out, and then grab a block if there's one handy to take for our ride down towards the mat. So we'll finish with Waterfall Pose and then a nice final Psoas Opener. So walk your feet in and place the block underneath you. So you're gonna lift your hips up and then set the block down, find a comfortable place, and then bring your legs up so that you feel supported and you're not risking the block jumping out from underneath you. Once you're up, let the energy of your legs start to relax down. So this is like a spa moment for your legs after all the hard work that we did. This should feel really good. Give yourself permission to just release into this where the legs are not working, right? This is like a time out. They should feel really light, no pressure, no weight. Just kind of let your feet dangle or hang as feels good. And if you can, in your mind's eye, just tap into that sensation. All that energy just flowing from your feet and your legs down and in towards your heart. Close your eyes if you haven't already and enjoy the moment. Your legs are thanking you. Breathe in and breathe out. Relax your shoulders if you haven't already. Just let them melt towards the ground. Oh, so beautiful. Now, hold on to your block, and you may need to actually bring one leg down to the mat and then the other. But if you can, see if you can just extend one leg all the way out so that heel touches the ground, and then let the other one follow. So this is a really big stretch for the front line of the body. Try not to let the sensation be entirely in your back, although there is some. You really want this to be about opening up the front line. You could take your arms out nice and wide. You could bring them overhead, maybe grab opposite elbows or whatever you have, cactus your arms, and just take a few rounds of breath here, relaxing and opening up. Feeling those hip flexors get a good stretch here, and deep into the psoas muscle. Oh, so good. All right, let's start to walk the feet in. So go ahead and bend the knees, round the feet, lift up enough so that you can slide the block away. And just draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good hug. Take both knees over to the right and take your left arm out and just come into a spinal twist. Maybe your gaze turns to the left as well. Drawing the knees in close to the chest or dropping them down more in line with the hips. Whatever feels good, they're going to stretch different parts, so maybe try it out and see what feels good for you. Let that left shoulder relax. Feel your muscles just release along the length of your spine. And then if your head is turned, bring it back towards center, and let's use the core muscles to draw the knees in and then off and over to the other side. You can use that left hand to guide them. Right arm extends this time. Turn your gaze if you can. And then play around. Maybe you want the knees up close towards your chest, or maybe you'd like them down more in line with your hips. Feel it out on this side and find what feels really restorative and good for you. Allow yourself to breathe up and down your spine as you release. Slow down your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. And then turn your chin up towards the center. Roll yourself back. Give yourself a good squeeze. Hug it all in. And then extend the legs out. Bring yourself into Savasana, arms wide. Turn your palms up. Let your feet just open wide. Give yourself whatever space or movement you need to get really grounded here. Once again, let the earth support you. So feel your body weight letting go and yielding into the ground. And just let your breath start to breathe through you without effort. Give yourself the time and space you need to release, to receive, and to regenerate. With each exhale, see if you can just drop into this a little bit deeper. Letting the doing part of your practice be over. And letting the being part take over. Nothing to do but be. Keep getting heavy. Keep releasing towards the earth. And to transition, just allow yourself to be aware of what you're feeling and hearing and sensing all around you, near and far. Let that awareness start to bring you back. And bring your arms overhead, nice and slow, eyes still closed. Let's just reach the body out in both directions, as if someone had a hold of your ankles and your wrists, and they were drawing you long in both directions. Stretch it out. Beautiful. Hug one knee into your chest, keeping the eyes closed. Just feel your way through this. And then bring the opposite knee in as well. Hug both knees in and roll off to one side. Just pause here. Take a breath. Feel how you feel. And bring in a sense of gratitude for all that this practice offers us. We'll rise up nice and slow, returning to our seat, closing out our grounding practice in whatever position of seated feels good to you. Gather your hands in front of your heart. Find pleasure once again in your body, in your breath, and in this season that we've had where we've been given permission to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Go hug your favorite Taurus. I'm sure you have one in your life. And thank you so much for joining me in practice tonight. Thumbs to third eye center. Let's bow to one another. Namaste. Thank you for joining me and for honoring yourself by taking yourself to the mat. Each time we make it here, good things happen. So I hope you'll join me again. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll be back with some Gemini season practice to come. Namaste, yogis. Thank you.